Shalom, brothers and sisters of Yahuwah and the Truth, warriors of Yahuwah and the Truth. I am going to read more of Fossilized Customs today because I feel like we can get through this a lot faster than what I anticipated before. I would love for more people to subscribe, like, comment, share, so that more people will come to the truth and more people will come to Yahuwah, so that we can have new brothers and sisters in the faith. Okay, and I will continue on with turning the world upside down. The book of Acts of Yahusha's Spirit records how the early students of Yahusha turned the world upside down. The name of the Creator had been concealed from the common people, like us, for centuries, since the Babylonian captivity. Learning this truth, everyone was astounded. When Peter stood up and addressed the crowds at Acts 2, he quoted Joel 2, or Joel. Oh, you're tired, Rini. You're tired? Today, and told them to be immersed in the name. Today, just before the end of the times of the Gentiles. You can lay down. The word is being turned upside down once again by the growing knowledge of the name, which has been concealed for many centuries by the religious merchants. Like today, it was the name of the Creator that caused the religious establishment to be turned on its head. Name or no name is the next section. I know you're sleepy. You can lay down. Okay, people are quick to label others with handles or titles. Christians in general are called by a Greek term, having no idea that the term was used by pagans first. As worshippers of Serapis, or that it is cognate with Cretan, see your dictionary. They hang their hat on one translated verse from the scriptures, Acts 11:26. While scholars know they were called Natsarim as a sect within Judaism. Many today are apprehensive of groups that use the Hebrew personal name of the Creator, calling them sacred name groups. These who would criticize those who use the Hebrew name should remember our rabbi's prayer at John 17, where he said he had revealed the name to them and that they be kept as one by the power of the Father's name. Now I'm going to initiate a new handle, the no-namers. The no-namers use traditional terms in place of the name. As most prefaces or prefixes of the scriptures will acknowledge, the words God and Lord are used as traditional replacements for the name. A regrettable situation considering John 17. In review, the Encyclopedia Americana has this to say about the word God. God, or GAWD, a common Teutonic word for personal object of religious worship, formerly applicable to superhuman beings of heathen myth on conversion of Teutonic races to Christianity. Term was applied to supreme being and to persons of Trinity. 3 again. Swell. So, what does this mean? Are we calling on the Creator with a word originally used by pagans to avoid the ethnic name of our Creator? Or of the Creator? Look up the word Baal in Webster's. It is defined as Lord. Belial is a form Oh no. Oh. Belial is a form of Baal and is another term for Satan or Shaitan. What in the wide world of sports is going on? The overlooked issue is this. At the time our Savior came, whose name is Yahusha, the name was concealed, and any who spoke it aloud could be stoned to death for saying it. He said he revealed it to those given to him out of the world, and that we be kept as one in unity by it. Are we in unity? He criticized the Pharisees for withholding the key of knowledge. Luke 11:52. What they withheld was the name. Why did they constantly want to stone Yahusha? He kept saying the name. At Luke 19:38, the crowds were crying out a verse from Psalm 118:26, which contained the name, and the Pharisees told Yahusha to rebuke them because they were using the name. Why were the disciples called to stand before the Sanhedrin? The name. Why was Stephen stoned at Acts 7? When he said the name, they screamed and put their hands over their ears and killed him. Yahusha himself was condemned because he spoke the name before the Sanhedrin, which caused the high priest to tear his clothes, saying, "He has spoken blasphemy." Blasphemy only involves one thing: the name. Why was Paul on his way to Damascus to arrest Natsarim? To carry them back to the Sanhedrin to see if they would say the name and be similarly condemned to death. Why were the Dead Sea Scrolls buried in the first place? Because worn-out scrolls were treated with respect and buried in jars instead of being profanely burned or discarded, because they had the name written on them. That's why they were hidden. The book of Esther isn't among them because the name is not written anywhere in the text. Even at Acts 2, Peter quoted Joel or Ual 2:32, emphasizing the importance of calling on the name. And then, to be immersed calling on it. No-namers insist it is of no importance and don't use it in their immersions. Falsehood and futility is what the prophet Jeremiah says the Gentiles have inherited. Yahuwah, to you the nations will come from the ends of the earth and say, our fathers have inherited nothing but falsehood, futility, and things of no profit. This time I will make them know my power and my might, and they shall know that my name is Yahuwah. At Romans 10:14, after quoting Joel 2:32 or Ual, Paul asks, how then shall they call upon him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him whom they have not heard? They don't know or call on his name. Hallelujah. That is with a Y, not a J at the end. Means praise Yah. It's easily seen that monks and translators sterilize the scriptures by removing the name from the text, especially when you look at Acts 7 and the stoning of Stephen, or even read your preface. Taken as a whole, the main controversy in the New Testament seems to be the name issue and the announcing of the kingdom of Yahuwah. Yahusha's own name contains the name. Revelation 7 and 14 connect together because the seal in the foreheads or minds of the 144,000 is this name of the Father. Taking his name in vain means to bring it to nothing, to ruin, missing it or wiping it out, bringing it to Shoah. The Sinai autograph of the original name, Yahuwah, written by his own hand, was in what is called Paleo-Hebrew. All the prophets wrote it in this script. The oral traditions forbade its utterance. I have an appointment soon, so I'm not really sure how much longer I can read for, but I'm going to try to read one more section for you guys. I love you all. Paul had Natsarim killed for pronouncing the name. The Yahudim were hoping for the Mashiach to come, and Rabbi Yahusha was not going around telling anyone he was, but rather kept that inside secret. The only thing he did that caused the law teachers and priests to pick up stones to kill him was what they called blasphemy. It was against their law to say the name of Yahuwah, and the penalty was death. This is not usually mentioned by the merchant preachers, because people would naturally start to search it out, and the key of knowledge would be widespread. The name of Yahusha contains the name of the Father, so even his name was part of the problem for them. The name Yeshua means salvation and was a rather common name at the time. However, Yahusha means Yah is our salvation, and had the name being clearly heard by all. See Talmud below. Paul explains how he fought against those who were found in the synagogues that proclaimed Yahusha at Acts 26:9-11. Paul explains, I truly thought with myself that I ought to do many things contrary to the name of the Mashiach of Nazareth. And this I also did in Jerusalem, and I both shut up many of the saints in prison, having received authority from the chief priests. And when they were put to death, I gave my vote against them. And punishing them constantly in the synagogues, I strove to make them blaspheme. And being exceedingly mad against them, I persecuted them even to foreign cities. They weren't being killed for any other reason than that they were going against the law of pronouncing the name. After Shaul, I believe it was Paul, was knocked down on his way to Damascus and encountered the risen Yahusha, he began to pronounce the name and did what he had watched others die for. For this is no small sideline issue, but is really central to what the entire Natsarim writings reveals to us. After Shaul was immersed by Ananias, who was himself very afraid at first, then he learned he was to be visited by the infamous Shaul. He took the name of Paulos. The name Shaul and his reputation was terrifying to the Natsarim. And you can well understand why. For some time, Natsarim were still afraid and distrustful of Paul. Is not this he that in Jerusalem made havoc of them that called on this name? And has he come here for the intention that he might bring them bound before the chief priests? Acts 9:15-16. Pronouncing the name aloud was a really big deal. Paul was nabbed by the Yahudim, Achaia, and they wanted him dead so much that they rushed him to the Roman proconsul Gallio. Gallio, no doubt a pagan, must have thought they were crazy when he heard the reason they were so murderously enraged. And he said, if indeed it was an act of injustice, of reckless or reckless evil, O Yahudim, according to reason, I would bear with you. But if it be a question concerning a word or names, and that law which is among you, see you do it, or you to it, for I will be no judge of these things. Acts 18:14-15. Paul had to be locked up to protect him. He claimed he was stoned on one occasion for pronouncing the name. Men had sworn oaths to see Paul dead before they would eat again. Paul had to hide and sneak out of the city in a basket. How many Christians really know why Paul was imprisoned? I don't think very many. Now you know. Believe it or not, there is quite a bit of shunning against those of us who use the name, even among Messianics who observe the appointed times. Paul's life and many other Natsarim lives were taken for simply pronouncing the name, and yet believers today shun and demonize those of us who seem to be making a big deal out of it. We can't help ourselves. The name burns inside us. We would die too. We would die for it too. If we are misguided, then those who have died over the name have done so needlessly, including Paul and all the early Nazarene followers. Yahusha revealed the name to them, and he has done so to us as well. There are always two sides to most issues. But since the name is the strong tower, that's the safer bet to go with. The name turned the world upside down once, and here in the days of the final message, it is doing it again. The custom of hiding the name is pagan. Next time I will be reading the early church fathers, the Living Word, and then Protestant Confessions, the ones I was going to read before, but I didn't get a chance to get that far yet. And I should have time next time to read Is Yahuwah a Trinity? Which we know it's not. That's a spoiler alert. Trinities Worldwide, Trinitarianism and Replacement Theology, Cross Images, and I think that's all I will have time for next time. And I hope everyone has a blessed day, and I hope everyone stays safe and warm in their houses. Yahuwah bless you all. I love you all, my Mishpaka, my family. And Bella loves you too. Bella, say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Aww. All right. Shalom, Mishpaka.